Hello everyone, and welcome back to the next round of the Unimaginary Theater, a Genshin tournament hosted by Furu on his server, Furu's Teapot. To recap the rules, every 2 days starting from the Abyss reset, we have a ban period followed by a submission period. During a ban period, both players participating in the tournament and non-participants in Furu's server will be able to vote up to 3 characters to ban from subsequent runs, excluding the Traveler. After 12 hours, the votes are tallied, and the 6 most voted characters will be banned for the remainder of the tournament. If multiple characters tie for the top 6 positions for these votes, they will all be banned. Participants for this Unimaginary Theater then have 36 hours to submit a run showing a clear on Chamber 1 of Floor 12. For the first Spiral Abyss of version 5.4. Across the 2 teams used, the sum of 5-star weapons and the refinements cannot exceed 3. However, unlike weapons, there are no limits on character constellations, and if a participant's submission from the previous round doesn't use any newly banned characters, they can choose not to resubmit a run for the current round. Points are awarded for how quickly the chamber was finished, based on the in-game timer. On the screen are the point values a participant can receive for their run, with the highest being 65 points for a clear under 60 seconds, all the way down to 10 points for a clear under 500 seconds. Each round also has a progressively increasing multiplier to match the difficulty of clearing the chamber with a continuously dwindling pool of characters to choose from. These rules were created to promote both horizontal and vertical investment, to level the playing field as much as possible between different accounts. To advance to the next round, players need to submit a 2-star run for the current round. Those who are unable to can no longer participate in the remainder of the tournament. And that just about sums up the rules for this Unimaginary Theater. Now, let's take a look at the scores and character usage rates from the last round.
Hello everyone, and welcome to round 4 of the Unimaginary Theater. This time I'm leading. My name is TarZ, and I am joined by Furu.
Hello.
And Ken.
How's it going, guys? I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's get to this.
Unfortunately, Saffron couldn't make it this time. She got a little busy this term for the casting, so I will be taking over as lead. Quickly going over what happened last round. First half saw a lot of freeze, a lot of taser, and some off comps here and there from, say, Bote, who used an aggravate Sethos comp, and Yoke, who used a full mono Geo team, as well as Fluffy, who used a Gaming Melt team.
On the second side, so I think most of the options are still available. Yeah, so it is still very hard to narrow down the options. So we still see Fischl, Xiangling, or Xingqiu, being picked a lot. Yeah, a lot of overload comes from using Jabrils and such.
Yeah, so there's a lot of visual, Xiangling, Xingqiu, Mona, Ganyu. Mainly those. So there's a lot of freeze, there's a lot of overload.
Yeah, I would like to add that the first half actually got dominated by animal units because we need the CC for the area mines. And actually, freeze are being played much more now because one big reasons, I think we did not mention earlier, but because freeze simply eliminates the inconsistency in executions. Yeah, because the area mines are actually moving a lot around and they can actually freeze you back even. Yeah, so it's very helpful as we are having only 36 hours to submit a run. And having a consistent first half execution also means less resets and also less execution stress for the second half and overall.
Right, yeah, the Eremites overall can stagger very easily, so having freeze to keep them in place is very useful, as well as any animo groupers that can also prevent them from moving at all. And second half, even though there wasn't necessarily a strict line on what people used in terms of a comp, visual shelling were very popular due to overload, Chevrolet overload being a fairly decent comp to deal with a lot of the single target shenanigans that Ruin Guards gave. So in terms of what was banned this round, the top 6 were Ayaka, Faruzan, Ganyu, Xiao, Sucrose, and Navia.
I'm guessing they tried to ban Ganyu and Ayaka because of freeze, since Furu mentioned earlier, it is a really good comp to deal with the enemies in this current half of the Abyss.
And Ayaka actually got the first, the top votes for banning because the ranked 1 player, Sufina, has a C6 Ayaka, and she demolished the first half.
So they really want to take out the main dog in this competition right now. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. But why the Faruzan ban though? Can you explain that one to me, Furu?
Yeah, I think Faruzan is good on both half actually. Yeah, because she can just buff Shao, for example. Yeah, so both of the top runs are actually using the Shao, and Faruzan is a very good animal buffer, as we all know, right? And she's actually doing well in the first half as well, because she does a lot of damage and can also CC like animal, and animal enjoying the swarm buff from the first half.
So it's better to just stop the force right now and instead of letting it grow, because there's still like a decent amount of animal DPS, so they want to like try to bottleneck that in the future.
In terms of the other 3 characters that were banned this round, Xiao, Sucrose, and Navia, Xiao was used by the basically top 2 runners, and so as a result got banned. High amounts of single target with Faruzan, so gonna get kicked out eventually. As for Sucrose is really strong first half, not only because animal grouping, but also because of the swirl damage, which gets an added bonus this particular abyss due to the leyline disorder, and Navia is banned for similar reasons as Xiao. Really strong single target. And that pretty much rounds out the overall bans. Moving on to more pictorial representation of our bans, you can see at this point we have what is it, 26 characters banned at this point. We're over a quarter of the total Genshin roster banned so far.
And all like the Dragon, the Sovereign, Archons, all got banned. Already, right?
Yeah.
I can see why I don't participate in these kinds of tournaments where I wouldn't half of my characters are in here. Like, I truly cannot think I can go like more than round 2 or 3 in this type of tournaments.
Let's move on to the runs. All right, in 15th place we have Sayamari. They are using a Hyperbloom team in the first half, with Venti as a effective grouper here. We mentioned earlier that animo groupers are really strong, and Venti is no exception in this regard for this particular abyss.
I think Venti is even better than others for this, because Hyperbloom actually has a small AoE that it can hit multiple enemies with one instance. So with some groupers who can make enemies stay tied together like Venti, then the Hyperbloom actually does much more damage than normally considered as single damage.
I also noticed they're really trying to use a lot of the books in here.
Yeah, booking is allowed in this tournament. Yeah.
That's great.
Probably quickly explaining booking, the idea is that if you open up the Adventurer's Handbook, you actually gain all the particles that are in midair immediately. You don't have to wait for a second or two for the particles to actually come to you.
Second half we have Sino, the Overload Sino.
Overload Sino's an interesting really pick here, because like you can play Aggravate Sino, but they decided to play Overload, which actually makes me think that they really wanted to like have the best in the first half, right? They wanted to like go all out with Hyperbloom, right?
Yeah. And I think it's also to make good use of Shangli and Fisher as well, right? And the team are doing a lot of field damage already, so just an electro on Peters who can do decent damage would be fine.
This
Not
is
too many people use Sino yet, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Still.
It's not like Sinos are really good at character. So I'm really excited to see more Sino in this tournament. I'm a huge fan of Sino, but like no one really uses them. And now you see him being used in this way with Overload. I really like this run.
Next we have Dusted Wind with a taser comp in the first half.
Taser is good because of the swarm buff for the first half. Yeah.
Overall, this is pretty standard in terms of comps we saw in the last round, right? We already saw Taser used quite often in the last round, although less than Freeze. So now with a lot, well, not a lot, but with main Freeze DPSs like Ayaka Ganyu banned, I think a lot of people are focusing more on Taser because, well, the main damage dealers being like, say, Beidou or Auroron Official are still available and well capable of completely clearing the first half.
And even if Sucrose got banned already, yeah, Lanyan and Hazel are still very potent in driving the base. So it's very good.
Yeah, and Hazel already also has that ADEM buff, so he can work well as a substitute for Sucrose.
Lanyan as well. She gave 60 EM to everyone, including her.
Gotcha. Second half, we have a dual DPS with Tainari, Keqing in an aggravate setup.
You know, I haven't seen this type of team since 3.0. I remember people using a lot of Keqing and Tainari together, but they kind of phased out naturally. But now seeing it back because of the limited characters that we have in tournament, it really makes me think that we really miss out on a lot of possibilities once you start to stagnate on a really one type of archetype team you enjoy.
Yeah, I think this stems from the stubbornness of Dusted Wind because he is a dedicated coaching man and he just wanted to use coaching no matter what. So yeah, now with a lot of options being banned, so now he resorted to finally coaching comp. Yeah,
Absolutely based.
Absolutely amazing. This gameplay is also really, really clean. I like how he's using the way to like move with catching instead of like actually running. I think that's like really genius to save more time.
Speaking of Keqing, we now have a Keqing first half comp from Hital.
Wait,
The Gene fall damage tech. Let's go.
insane amounts of damage already done. This is great. This is off to a great start.
Yeah, very fast because Gene's double elemental skill already made them like half HP already. Yeah.
And again, using the technique of catching, just teleporting to them to save a bit more time. This is just a really good run. I'm starting to enjoy.
Yeah, so they use a sacrificial sword on Jin, not only because it does 2 instants of fall damage, but the second skill also generates more velocity for the first one. So yeah, more fall damage was generated. So it's very good use there. And other units are there just to clean up. Yeah, very well played.
And now we have some Yoimiya appreciation. It's good to see her.
I think she kind of falls into the same category as Sino, or Hutao, yeah, who can actually drive this comp with Fisher, Shang and Traverse. Yeah.
Right. I mean, when you consider overload comps at this point, right, you're having your 3 staple units being Fischl, Chevrush, and Shunling, so you just need an on-fielder, and you know, as long as the on-fielder is Pyro Electro, it works out. At this point, there's nothing really else to use besides, what is it, like Yoimiya, Sino. Arguably, you could use any catalyst that's Pyro or Electro here as well, but Sino and Yoimiya do a little bit more damage, generally speaking.
Yes, they have more MV. Lily also, you're very good in this role. Yeah, as we saw people. Yeah.
Right.
Well done. Oh, that's
Now we have my goat for you.
I'm starting to use phone. Yeah. You get
A
some,
staple,
mobile
a
swimming.
staple, a really good staple run and combo for you. The Breach Barbara. Oh my god.
Bridge is extremely good with Barbara because she has a lot of front-loaded application with her skill activation, so she can immediately start basically detonating blooms because it hits the core limit on field.
In this case, she's better than Kokumi. Yeah. And also Kolai is the best one. Yeah, comparable to Nahida when it comes to bloom generations. At least for a short time.
Yeah, it's extremely front-loaded.
Mhm.
As for the
Absolutely
second half,
destroyed the first half.
yeah. As for the second half, we have well, what I call cryo charge attack abuse potential here. Since there is a 75% damage increase towards cryo charge attacks, just stacking all the cryo on second half along with, you know, combined charge attacks with Kaya makes for a really damaging comp.
And also Lanyan actually absorbed cryo as well on attacks. So she also got benefit from Shenhe as well. So basically, yeah, it's just Shenhe and everything cryos.
Right.
I also noticed you gave Mistplayer to Kaya. Honestly, so based.
It works because Jongyun is here, right? He can give he can give the third stack of Miss Splitter to Kaya.
Yeah, no, Kaya's normal attacks are a beast once you actually build him right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Its multiplier is quite high as well. Yeah.
Clean run.
136 seconds with Mono Cryo. Honestly, good to see it. And now we have Wi-Fi sucks.
Yeah, note that we actually skipped the 11th rank, who is Yoke, because he did not have to redo the round.
Right. Again, we're seeing another one of these taser comps. It's pretty similar design overall. I mean, it's taser, right? You're functioning on electro charged, so all you really need is, you know, an Animo unit to make sure you have VV Shred, and then your Electro and Hydro units being, well, Fischl, Beto, and Shincho.
It's a really good use of C6 Linet. I was honestly expecting more Lanyan since we've seen the other teams. But seeing a use of C6 Linet properly in this Taser team... Ooh.
It is harder to play Lynette in this because she has limited CT, almost no CT. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and also you don't have the protection you have, for example, someone with Lanyan, right? So it's simply just more risky. But I guess you can trade it off for more damage. If you can play it right, it was the right play here. As you can see, 10th place. it was working for them very well.
Emerge. Right now. Emerge.
Now we can see in the second half they also used Overload, but since they used Fischl in the first half, they used Miko as a effective replacement. And so it's potentially possible we might see some kind of banning towards these characters later that can act as substitutes, because at this point, with the amount of characters that are, you know, left in the pool, any and all substitutes for certain comps will most likely be targeted.
Time for a light show.
Right. They could have banned Chevrolet, right, to shut down all the Z's. To a good extent, yeah, but she's still there.
So that was Wi-Fi Sucks. He was right here, right now, and he emerged in 9th place. Good for him.
Not less with Bote actually, yeah.
Yeah, we also
And,
skipped 9th place here
yes.
because Bote, I believe, was able to just skip this round. None of their units were banned. Eighth, turtle camera,
It's another
Standard.
main team, yeah.
standard bridge comp again.
It's honestly just amazing to see it goes, because you really cannot see Barbara when things are happening.
Actually, double barrels is better. Normally, in harder situations, we use the fourth slot to be Hazel or some like grouping animal. But here, yeah, so the RMIs actually group together a little bit by themselves. So as long as you have Barbara and Rosaria, yeah, they are already being frozen, near each other. So double barrel give you more in them and also more seats to load up. Yeah.
In the second half, Turtle Camera used a Vapoemia team, or specifically over Vapoemia team.
I think this is the first Wave team we have to see it, which makes me really happy because I have been playing Vape all my life.
A lot of Sincho was spent on the first half, right? So yeah, for TarZ, right? So yeah, not many people use Sincho for the second half. Up to this point, yeah.
It's a really interesting choice, but it worked for them, and I'm glad for that.
Yeah,
Solid work.
solid
Yeah.
damage, solid work.
Well, now we have Accent.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
Another freeze.
And they're using a freeze team with Mona. Mona is actually really strong here because the thing is, you don't need that much of a window to deal damage with in a team like this. And so even though Mona's damage bonus is fairly temporary, it doesn't matter in this case because you can just, well, as you can see, outright just kill the enemies.
And she also fits into 15-second rotation. Yeah, all of them. They're very smooth.
This is making me realize I should build my Mona.
Yeah, that's 45 seconds on the first half. Yeah. Very good.
More catching appreciation. We love to see it.
Yeah. When we talk about any pyro and electro on together, right?
Yeah.
Guess another one.
Majority of the second half teams we've seen so far have pretty much all been overload with Chevreuse. So honestly, if someone's looking to shake things up, banning Chevreuse might be on the top of their list.
Well, we did see that Turtle didn't use her, so he might have an advantage here.
Right. So imagine you would suspect that like Fischl and Miko would both be banned, right? On top of that potentially, just simply because of how much damage they can deal off field.
Yeah. Yeah, the more rounds we have, so in later rounds, the combination are not there anymore or are not as optimal. So characters with a lot of like multipliers, draw multipliers by themselves, yeah, would have a lot of edge. Yeah, moving forwards. Yamiko actually has a lot of multipliers. Yeah, and she hits from off field as well.
Next we have Saffron using, I think this is the exact same team that was used in the last submission, actually. In previous.
Right. Yeah.
I think this just goes to show that the team really does work really well in this half. Oh, some more booking.
Some more
Good to see
booking.
it.
I think the difference being Saf has a really strong Hazel, and she just used him to
Oh yeah,
one. Yeah,
90k damage, easy.
It really
Right,
does seem
yeah.
just like a more optimized run of the last one, right? She used a lot of the books really well, and this haste was monstrous. Look at that. Yeah.
1 second faster.
And again, so, like you said in the beginning, Faru, we have some Leany appreciation now.
Really? Yeah. That was
Making quick
just-
work.
Yeah. Nina is also someone who has a lot of raw multipliers.
Mhm. I'm guessing also that's why they banned Bennett like really early.
Right.
Like DPS like this, like Xiangling, Leany, Yomiya, will take such advantage of Bennett that it will just be a force to be reckoned with.
Mhm.
Another thing Saffron is doing to keep the run consistent here is, if you notice where they're aiming with Linny, they're aiming right at the weak spots of the Ruin Guards and Ruin Graders. That's because it allows for a guaranteed crit. So you don't have to worry about, your shot not critting.
So what you
Left
think to me
resets,
is
right?
that she's crit fishing more so she can get like more time squish into it, right?
Pretty much.
Now we have
Yeah.
ML. Another Hybrid Bloom team like we saw in the beginning.
Yes,
good to
plenty
see.
happen.
Right.
I think this is the same comp, am I correct?
It's the same comp, yep.
It's good to see that Venti still works after all these years.
Well, in some abysses.
Well, you know what I mean.
in a few. He's there. He
Sometimes.
exists.
Mayhaps.
This abyss happened to show Mizuki, right? And
Yeah.
she's a strong type. Yeah, so they make it very, pretty much Venti friendly.
Good to know. Again, Hyperbloom cores do have a small AoE, so with Venti's grouping, the cores are hitting all of the Eremites at once rather than just one at a time.
Yeah.
And once
Same
again,
comp as last one too, yeah.
overload.
Who saw that coming, huh?
The same com as Saffron.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the same one. We're starting to see more and more repeated comms now in this latter rounds.
Even if people have to improvise, so there's still a good option. Like, if they don't use it, then others would use it anyway, right? So
Yeah.
and they still have to compete for time. So it's fine to just use the same thing. So each round has a meta for it.
Of course.
Even with players that aren't necessarily strictly following the meta as of this abyss, it seems like the tournament has fallen directly into a meta scenario.
Indeed.
Now we have Catest with the Taser and Overload. We're daring today, are we?
Yeah, we saw the Lanyan variations a while ago. But yeah, so compared to Lanyan, yeah, so Hazel has faster and more frequent grouping. Yeah, and yeah, it shows.
Know my soul. Body and mind.
Not too far now. Tell me what you see.
And also Hazel with N1C combos can actually react quite a bit as well.
Right. And also amongst the Eremites, yeah, there is one with higher HP. So Xingqiu actually contributes as a single target damage. So that, so yes, you can see Katas keep hitting the highest HP enemies so that they can die at the same time.
They're using, yeah, Miko's normal attacks. I haven't seen that one before in this round.
Shadow Raven.
I mean, it makes sense. If you look at the 4 units they have, the only person that makes sense to even on field is Miko with her electro application from her normals.
Right here.
And I mean, like all 4 of these are basically in some form or another sub DPSs or supports. So there's not really much of a choice.
Well, yeah. So they just went with the route of slap everything together, hope it works. I really like that strategy, you know?
Justice will prevail. By royal right here. Right now.
Very clean.
Midnight Phantasm.
And again, she has emerged.
117.
Sub 2 minutes right now. Sub 2 minute territory.
Yeah, with the Ayato.
Yeah, so yeah.
I haven't seen Ayato in this tournament, like, at all.
Yeah.
This is really good to see.
I think only like 2 people actually use Ayato. But Ayato is really good here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With how closely Venti's burst groups the Eremites, Ayato's burst only hits them in the vortex because of the way his burst works. If there's 3 or more enemies in the tight location, all of the water droplets from his burst hit that area specifically.
Yeah. It is quadratic scaling as well, right?
Yeah.
I think Ayato's burst also did that. Yeah.
Yep.
Very fast. And Hyper
Ooh.
Blue.
Oh, Hazen
Nice,
Hyper Blue. Makes sense. I mean, Alhaitham is one of the strongest single target DPSs left in the tournament at this point.
Yeah. It's very fast.
Even though the team itself technically has a lower ceiling in comparison to some other comps that exist, I mean, if everything else is bad, then the ceiling becomes that much lower.
Yeah. There's some options that might appear in round 1, but then might fade away in round 2 or 3, but then after that, so it somehow becomes the best choice again because of how the ban shape things up, right?
Right. And Chica really took advantage of the window of Alhaitham's burst to cast Cookie's E in time to get some tighter rotations. Next we have Fluffy.
Melt with the Game.
It's actually freeze with Gamin.
You're right. Freeze with Melt. This is so fun to see, actually.
Yeah, it's actually much harder than it looks like because Gamin does land damage because he's a claymore, right?
Right.
So when working with trees, so chance that
Did you shatter, right?
Instead of so actually hope he actually timed the cryos application very well. So that
Really
he can
worked.
thin out. It's actually a lot of work and mechanics behind it. I think it's also about 35 seconds on the first half.
34 seconds,
For two
yeah.
rotations. Yeah.
I noticed they're using Zhongli here. Is there really a reason, or they just run out of options?
They might not have Chevrolet build, probably, or they might not have Chevrolet build, but look at the team they're using. They're going to want to vape with Xiangling, so in terms of resistance shred, I mean, they probably thought it was easier to just use Zhongli.
I guess you're right. Yeah, it's just a comfort pick. It allows for you to stop dodging and just focus on doing your damage.
Right. Given how difficult the first half is, right? In terms of making sure that Gomming doesn't do blunt damage or can actually
They
melt.
just went for consistency, I guess. Yeah.
Sub 100.
99 seconds. Yeah.
Nice.
And now we have Johan again. Oh my god.
Mizuki.
We hit Mizuki appreciation.
We have an Albedo Shatter team with Mizuki as one of the on-field driver here. Let's see.
Is this Albedo filled with EM?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fully Albedo.
Oh yeah,
That's
Albedo.
sick.
Yeah, he is Zhongli the previous round, and I actually made a point that it's actually hard to ban this team because if you ban Zhongli, he just use Albedo like this, and if you ban Albedo, he just use Kachina fully right?
Building EM just for the shatter, it's something I have never seen before. That's so creative.
The only way you can really ban out that comp is to focus on a specific element, say for example Hydro. That's like the only thing you could really do.
It is a really future-proof strategy for this event, yeah.
Yeah.
And look at that Kachin, guys.
What
Kissing appreciation.
What is
C6.
C6? Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, look at the damage. Yeah.
What is this damage?
We will
Very
get
gay, it's
Kachin
like it's
ban
nothing
with it.
50 even. Damn.
Nowhere to hide.
This just shows that don't mess with Johan, guys.
Let the magic begin. Service for the spot.
If Kachin in the next round, I guess.
We just ban Kissing.
97 seconds. Alright, and so here are the overall results for round 4. We have possibly the most unique team comp pairing in first with Johan with a Shatter Mizuki and a Kaching Aggravate.
In second, so we have Frozen Mount from Gami, right?
Right.
It's a very creative comp. And two people with the most creative comp actually has sub 100 time in the bracket. And they net the most point.
Right.
I think this really shows that sometimes creativity into making teams just matters more than the actual team comp. You're not really limited to characters in this tournament most of the time. It's more of like, how do you use them, right? Because now we see, like, I have never seen someone use Shatter as to, like, just a way to get things going, if that makes sense, right?
Right.
In the third place, we have Chica. Honestly, surprised. Have not seen that many good use of Ayados in a long time. And making a use with this Abyss and Venti, it works really well.
Overall, in terms of comp design, we see a lot of the trends we saw last round. So Taser being prominent, Hyperbloom still having a presence, Breeze also still having a presence, though not necessarily as strong because, again, Ayaka and Ganyu got banned. But overall, the trends are so far there. Second half saw more of a trend towards Overload, though, in comparison to the previous round.
So many travelers. I see the whole army.
Firing squad, they're all out to get us. It's over.
Right.
We didn't see any Clees, right? At all? I don't think there are any Clees
Please,
at this point.
TarZ.
Other than
Plea.
other than me using it.
And yeah, base GMC on the first half as well. We should have added that to we should have added that run to the footage.
It wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. Trust
Yeah,
it
we
wasn't that
will
good.
add more like unique runs into the footage later. So we can 3.5 fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have 33 people still surviving this round.
Right. So looking at the overall standings, Johan has remained in first place with no placement movement. Chica went up 2 places. Possibly the largest placement movement was from Fafi with their Gaming run elevated them up 6 places in total.
I honestly think it's deserved. Reuse Gumming, it's so hard to play.
C6 gaming though, yeah. Surely, yeah, gaming got banned next round.
We have the better Baresa at home. Oh my god.
Right.
Wi-Fi Sucks and Yoke also both went up 6 places, tying Fafi for the overall highest placement increase this round.
We have to give a shout out to my man Pichu. I'm so sorry, my guy.
Not like this. Ooh, the 9 placements down is quite rough. But I mean, it'll happen as more characters get banned. When people run out of characters to actually use properly, a lot of placement movement will happen like this. Get some minor movement down from 21 to 30.
From rank 37 on the first round, already 26. Yeah, moving up and up.
Gotta keep going. Gotta keep
Well
climbing.
done, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
So props to the like the players like Linus or Jason. Yeah, so they are still surviving. Yeah,
Still hanging in
and
there.
it's actually getting hard, right? Because 26 characters are already out, and not only like any 26, right? There are a lot of
Right.
major powerhouses in the account. In most accounts, got banned. And
Linux here is just like,
struggling.
I'm still standing. My pure Linux.
Indeed, yeah. Props to them.
And
Okay.
I think there is also a slight adjustment to the rules we should mention. I believe the next round is when we will be adjusting the total minimum bans for characters to 7 rather than 6.
It is to speed up the tournament a little bit. So if we keep doing 6, then so big chance people we might have more rounds than the intended design of the tournament, and also people are
Right.
agreeing with speeding it up a little bit so they don't get run out.
So next round coverage, expect to see a minimum of 7 characters banned, maybe more. Thank you all for watching this round of the Unimaginary Theater, and see you in round 5.
See you in the next round, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for being part of this tournament.
Thanks, and I hope everyone enjoyed the tournament. See ya.